Hi, everyone. It's Lori from Crystal Earth Magic. Wanted to talk a little bit today about siphoning our energy off into the future, the past, or to events that may or may not occur, and the importance of being present in the now. You know, you've all heard the now is the only place from which we can create. And that is absolutely true because everything is happening in this now moment. Okay. The past and the future are part of linear time that we agreed to be part of down here in this third density. They do not exist in the same way in the other realms, and even our higher aspects do not experience linear time the way we do. So again, right now, with all the events happening in our world, everyone's looking like, when's the next date that something's going to happen? When are we going to see arrests? When are we going to see all of that kind of stuff, right? And instead, we're not being present. We're giving our power away to the future or looking to the past. And that diverts all of our energy. It siphons it off away from the now moment. The now moment is the only moment in which we can create. So we all agreed to be here at this time, this momentous time on Earth, in order to shift everything. This massive planetary ascension we're going through, we all agreed to be here as divine, eternal beings that have so much experience that we volunteered for the job, knowing full well that we could do it. We could send our light into the darkness. We could do it. We could anchor the higher timeline here on Earth when it looked impossible. So if we're siphoning our energy into the future, saying, when is this going to happen? When is that going to happen? Listening to all of the talking heads who say that they know stuff or they have intel or any number of things, okay. When this whole charade began in 2020, and even before for many of you who were awake then, when this all began, we listened very intently to a lot of people who said that they had intel or they knew. And one by one, everything fell through. And I think that the one thing that we can all agree on now is that everything is happening in God's timing. Okay. Nothing can stop this shift. Nothing can stop this evolution. Nothing can stop this ascension. We don't have specific dates because nothing is date driven. Okay. Everything is event driven. Whatever it is, the powers that be are looking for, to cause the least amount of chaos, which is hard to imagine, but that's all we know. Anyone who says anything different, I think they're full of it. I do. You may disagree with me and that's fine, but I just see so many people siphoning their energy off. Oh, well, I'm not going to schedule anything on blah, blah, blah day because so-and-so said this was going to happen. You guys, we're not going to miss it. We're not going to miss any of it. We are here for the duration to experience this shift, to bring it about, to create this new Earth. And we've got to stop letting our energy be siphoned off. Don't you think that maybe that's part of the dark agenda? Taking us out of our present moment of creation. We are creator gods and goddesses. If we all focused on the same thing, over and over, or even once, can you imagine what we could create? But we're all divided. We're all over here. We're all scattered. We're so busy. We're in survival and not creation. What if we could all put our energy to good use, fueling this ascension, fueling the benevolent outcome for humanity? What if we all did that? Do you know how powerful we are together? Even small groups of people are incredibly powerful together. Even when a group of people come together to meditate, Jesus taught us this. Many of the other sages who've walked the earth have taught us this. When we come together with our intent and our power, we are unstoppable. So I just want to say, don't keep putting all your eggs in the basket of somebody else. Okay. All these people saying that they have information, so much time wasted listening to nothing. Nobody knows. Our source knows, our higher self knows, but even they know that this linear timeline is fluid. It shifts, it changes based on the energy of the people, based on the energy of the earth and the cosmos. Nothing is set in stone. There are no set dates. And I just wish people would stop giving their energy away to that. We know it's coming. We know it's happening already. And we know that the future of humanity is beautiful and bright and brilliant. We know we have to go through probably a little more of this chaos before we get to the other side, whatever that is, you know. Without chaos, there would be no evolution. What would be the driving force? You know, we will always have that driving force, the push and the pull to drive evolution. If we were sitting here in our feathered little nest and everything was wonderful, what would we evolve to? You know? And that's part of why evolution went so slowly for so many thousands of years. Certainly between resets, our evolution has gone much slower than we are seeing it happen now. You're seeing people awaken to abilities on grand scales. You're seeing a lot of the children coming in with abilities that we didn't have, we had to work for. We're seeing just so many changes. And the powers that were want you to see them as negative, and it's not. Look at the positive things you see in your life. Look at the benevolence of the beautiful humans around you. You know, those who aren't being benevolent, either they're caught up with dark forces or they're just succumbing to everything that's been thrown at them. They're in survival. They don't remember who they are. We're here to be that living example to help people remember who they are. Yes, sometimes we all want to talk about all of these things that are happening, but giving all our energy to specific dates because someone said so, stop. Can we just agree to stop? I mean, it's going to happen when it happens, you know, things are ready to blow at any moment. I mean, you know, everything has to be done in a careful way so that we don't blow ourselves up again, as we have in other scenarios and other timelines on Earth. This is the timeline that sticks for all eternity, right? And we've got to do it the right way. It is very difficult to have patience. It is very difficult not to feel frustrated because we're just walking on shifting sand. But if we stay in the present, look around you, everything is fine in this present moment. You have everything you need in this present moment. You're not suffering in this present moment. You know, looking to the past or to the future, you may start to feel those things. But in this present moment, everything's okay. And even if you feel there is very little to be grateful for, you ought to be able to find something, just something to be appreciative of, if not grateful, appreciative. And just appreciate the roof over your head, appreciate your warm house, appreciate a beautiful tree turning colors out the window. You know, be grateful for the food that you had on your table today. Be grateful for electricity. You know, for some people it may be more difficult, you know, but be appreciative of what you do have. And when you're appreciative of that in this now moment, more comes to you by that law of attraction. You know, all of these universal laws are very simple. They're not complicated. They're not. You know, I believe in making things as simple as possible so that we do them every day and we don't have to pull them out on holidays. And that's the only time that we practice this. I believe in making it as simple as possible. So you know, you might want to try to do that. Something to incorporate into every moment of your day, being present, being mindful, loving the beautiful blue sky, loving the clouds, loving the rain, loving the changing of the seasons, you know, appreciating all of that stuff. Even if you can't love it, you can appreciate it maybe. And maybe you can be grateful for the little things. You know, just look around you. What can you be appreciative or grateful for right in this moment? And just not worry about what's going to happen next week or, you know, November 11th or whatever dates they're giving you. You know, there's a lot of people saying things out years and years and years. And I think that that's very disempowering. We need to be present in the moment. At the beginning of all this, you know, obviously I had a lot of questions from clients and friends like, what's going on? You know, this back in 2020, what's going on? And I didn't know. I had no idea. You know, we have kind of an idea now, but you know, most of us had no idea. So I asked my guides, I'm like, can you guys give me something so that I can share this with other people, because everybody's asking and I don't know what to say. And so my guides were like, whenever they lead with beloved, you're like, it's something you don't want to hear, right? in your lower vibrational form. But when you come up to their level, it's exactly what you need to hear. They said, beloved, if you could know the outcome, would you rather do that, or would you rather let it unfold the way that you had planned and just live through it? And of course, the way they say it is so beautiful that you're like, of course I want to live through it. There have been times when I wanted to, change my opinion on that, but it is the right thing. We are here to live through the unfoldment of this. Nobody knows the hour or the day or exactly how it's going to look, because it's a moving target. We are going to create this together. So we can't possibly know what it's going to look like until it's done. And guess what? We're going to be tweaking it along the way for generations to come. And that's as it should be. That's, some of you remember being through evolutions or ascensions, things like that on other planets. And it wasn't all roses and perfume, let me tell you. There were some very difficult memories, and some of you have those. I'll talk about more of those when I talk about some of the quantum healing sessions that I've done recently, especially. Really cool. But can we just stay present? That's where we find our joy. That's where we find our still. That's where we find our connection with our source and our spirit. We've got to be present in the now. Don't worry about next week. Yeah, okay, we have to plan a little bit for this or that or whatever. But if we give all our energy, we're worrying about the future, or we're despairing or feeling guilty about the past. Can we just be in the present and be joyful? Try it. Just try it. Try it for 5 minutes. And then maybe you'll want to make it an hour. And then maybe you'll want to make it a whole day of just being present and not worrying about what all the talking heads are saying, because they don't know any more than you do. Tune into your source. You'll know everything is okay. Okay. Another thing that when this all began, and I said, can you show me so that I know in my heart, so that I can be honest when I'm speaking to people, because I don't know what to say, and I had a very lucid dream that was so vivid, the kind of dreams where they're real, and their messages, and you've seen it. So I had the overall view of everything that's happening, and everything was so beautiful and working like a symphony. Everything was so perfectly orchestrated that you knew that it could only be source, that it could only be God that was doing this. It was so beautiful. Everything was just beyond words. And I saw it all for a second. How you get those downloads where everything you saw the whole overhead view, and it was so beautiful. And there was no doubt, it was absolutely certain, because it had already happened in the higher realms. And when I woke up, came back to consciousness, there were just tears streaming down my face because of the joy and the beauty and the glory of all of it. And then they mind wiped me, right? So all I had was that feeling that I knew with absolute certainty that everything was fine, and everything was going to be fine. Everything was going to be more than fine, perfect. But I couldn't know the details, again, because that would jeopardize me, and that would jeopardize everything, and that's why a lot of us don't have the details. Number one, it's a moving target. And number two, it's to protect us and the entire things going on, the whole scenario. This is a big thing, shifting an entire planet to a higher dimensional reality, a higher consciousness. It's a huge thing. So anyway, I just wanted to share that with you. Just be present on those days when you feel despair or anger or frustration. And that's okay. That's human too. Don't pretend that it doesn't exist. Don't shove it down. Feel it. And then let yourself go into that higher perspective. Let yourself get into your center, your peace, and just be present and be grateful for what you have in front of you. What can you do to bring joy into your life in this moment? And that's just my little rant for today, because I think it's so important. I see so many people worrying about what's going to happen or ruining what happened in the past. And that takes all of our power away from the moment that we can create in, which is the now. Okay. So have a happy day being present in the now. and look around you. What can you be grateful for? What can you appreciate? And where can you find your joy? It'll change everything. I promise you, you will love it. You will love it if you can do that. It'll change everything. Okay. So this is Lori from Crystal Earth Magic. I hope you enjoyed my little rant, and I hope you practice it. And, even for those of you who already are aware of all this, try it. Bring yourself back to center. A lot of you have forgotten, we do. We forget to practice what we preach a lot of times. And it doesn't hurt to go back to the basics, because the basics are where all the little kernels of knowledge are, for sure. We can make it whatever we want, but the basics are very simple. They're very simple, and this stuff does not need to be complicated. Okay, everybody can do this. You are all capable of doing this and feeling better in the moment, and then you create better things and attract better things, and it keeps on an upward spiral from there. So have a wonderful day, and hopefully I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.